news tonight. More farmers receive inputs courtesy of Akwa Ibom State government. Stakeholders make moves to address issues of Almajiri and out-of-school children. Plus, Uyo residents appeal for clean and potable water. Hello, it's nice to have you join us on the news. I am Evelyn Bedu with details of the news. This broadcast is reaching live on StarTimes Channel 103 and our social media platforms on Facebook and YouTube. More farmers in Eket and Ikot-Ekpene senatorial districts have benefited from the distribution of farm inputs by the Akwa Ibom State government through the Ministry of Agriculture. Commissioner for Agriculture Dr. Offiong Ofor, while distributing the inputs, charged the farmers to grow more agricultural products to ensure sustainability. And Yefiok Edet reports.
The place of food in human development can never be overemphasized, and it takes intentional involvement in agricultural activities to ensure food sustainability. Hence, as the planting season is on, farmers in Eket and Ikot-Ekpene senatorial district have received farm input to boost productivities.
Food is the most basic need of man. So whatever your hands can do legitimately that will put food on your table, you don't have to be ashamed of it. If in the Western climes we find that 3% of their population are engaged in agricultural production and they are the multi-millionaires. So agriculture is a thing we should do with pride.
Thankful to His Excellency, who has shown so much passion in agriculture.
The Commissioner for Agriculture, Dr. Offiong Ofor, also calls on young people to engage in farming and not to look down at the sector as it is capable of sustaining their means of livelihood.
I will encourage every one of us, whether you're a student, whether you're a teacher, a principal, or a star, whatever you're doing, please have a farm. Be engaged in agriculture, whether it's crop, whether it's animal, whatever it is in that value chain that works for you, please do it. Like His Excellency the Governor will say, Dakada, kutesi ufurubok, woyamben says a God maybe nomen, Dakada benubong funampo. That is the Dakada philosophy. That means don't be laid back.
Farmers who benefited from the gesture expressed their excitement while promising to
Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State. He has been doing this for some years running, giving us food or agricultural implements. He's asking us to use our hand and make food for ourselves.
When I first took up the mantle of leadership of my school, that very first month, we were invited here to come and collect some farm input like this. Cassava stems and maize seedlings. We planted it, and they were very good varieties, improved varieties. The harvest we had was marvelous.
Based on what we obtained, the harvest we had last year, from the same exercise like this, I believe this particular one will give us double what we had last year.
See, last year when we came, we were given, like the Principal General said, we took these stems back to school, we planted them, and the harvest was encouraging. That is why this year again, when we had the call, we had the invitation, we did not relent.
I want to assure you and your team that we will make good use of the farm inputs, the cassava stem, the maize.
The state government places very important premium on agriculture. We know that whatever we are and however we are is best and grounded in agriculture.
High point of the event was a presentation of the farm input to the beneficiaries. Yefiok Edet, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the 2023 farming season in Uyo, the state capital, commenced in good time, and farmers attributed to the early rains. Mfonobon Umoton reports that the farmers are, however, calling on governments to support them with agro products for a bumper harvest. The report.
A
A drive around some farmlands within Uyo Metropolis indicates that farming has already commenced in earnest, as some farmers were seen planting different crops. While interacting with some of them, they noted that the rains has offered good opportunities for them to begin early this year. Considering the present economic reality of cashlessness, these farmers are of the opinion that it has become necessary for Nigerians, including civil servants, to venture into farming for food sufficiency.
Things are very cost. If you check out now, Gary is now 100 naira a cup, and it's very high, and we can't even afford Gary. Talk less of going to the bank to go and get money to buy Gary. So it's better we go to the farm to go and achieve farm, to go and harvest or start planting early now, so that we can harvest on time and be having something to eat.
We plant here to get our fruits. End of the year, we harvest whatever we planted to get food for our families and also for income.
We are planting the corn because rain is coming very soon, and the corn needs to go down into the soil so that when rain comes, it will germinate quickly, and harvest time, it will be ripe for consumption.
Although most of them are practicing subsistence farming, they are calling on relevant authorities to empower them for optimal yields.
I have to plant so that I may use it for my family to eat and survive. I want government to help me in fertilizer, to give me fertilizer to put inside this farm so that the farm grow well. The crops here can grow well.
At a time like this, sometimes we should just prevent some things like all these cows from coming into our crops so that our crops will not get damaged, so that our crops will be safe the way we plant them.
It is no longer news that non-availability and non-accessibility of cash have brought upon the citizenry untold hardship. Hence, the need for diversification. In Uyo, Mfonobong Umotong, NTA News.
Stakeholders in the education sector are calling for a holistic approach to address problems associated with the Almajiri education and other out-of-school children in Nigeria. This was during a public hearing on a bill for an act to establish a National Commission for Almajiri education and out-of-school children by the House of Representatives. National Assembly correspondent Vivian Idekpefo reports.
The bill also seeks to provide a multimodal system of education to tackle illiteracy, promote skill acquisition and entrepreneurship programs. This will therefore reduce poverty, delinquency and destitution in Nigeria.
In the 21st century, education ensures that our people can thrive in the knowledge economy, participate and benefit from technology advances that define this age. Education expands our view of the world and allows us to recognize that despite differences of tribe and language, religion and creed, we are all together in the grand tapestry of humanity.
There are problems, there are contradictions. We try to politicize everything, but this has no relationship to politics. The only answer to illiteracy, ignorance, is education, no matter how you put it. And if you don't offer it to the children, it's a criminal offense.
I will appeal to certain organizations because the Almajiri system has a religious coloring, and I appeal to other faiths to be very objective about this because the menace affects all of us.
Stakeholders are also worried over the rising number of what they described as children in peculiar situation and its attendant negative consequences.
Since we are now focused on dealing with the problem, let us do it sincerely and do it really in a developmental way so that it will impact and it will address the problem.
Yes, there may be need for magic. What is the role of mass literacy parastatal? You beg, is it only responsible to just give out money? What do they do? We need to look at it so that we give responsibility, that we can understand, that we can measure whether we are doing something. 13 million and growing. The number is growing if we do nothing.
We also need to look at the issue of these out-of-school children as beyond just education. Education is critical, but these children have been exposed to much more than children who come from homes, who have their parents there. Many of them would rather do skills for many reasons. Many of them have gone through trauma. So we have to find a way of using a combination of tools to apply to these children so that we know that we can restore their self-confidence and their self-esteem, and they can thrive in the world that is today.
In fact, I was telling here that Forman has mentored, through her schools, have mentored many almajis, of which today we are proud that we have some students who have graduated as degree holders.
We therefore propose that the name of the commission should be changed or modified to National Commission for Out-of-School Children's Education in Nigeria. This will accommodate all out-of-school children, including the Amajiris.
If you have agreed, even if you cannot spend a federal government kobo penny, give us the enabling environment. We will use WACAP to fund the Almajiri system and to deal with out-of-children.
Other contributors were emphatic about the mental health of the affected demography. From the National Assembly, Vivian Idekwefo, NTA News.
We now take a break. More reports after this timeout. Do stay.
Roseville Hotel. Come, feel the luxury of our contemporary hotel. We offer lodging and accommodation. Stay at our deluxe executive and luxury suite for your comfort. Experience extravagant dining and delicious meals by expert chef. Lounge at our exquisite VIP bar. Enjoy 24 hours power supply with free Wi-Fi services. Our security system is top-notch to ensure your safety. Ample parking space and laundry services available. The ambience is serene to make your stay memorable. We are located at number 1 Julius Paget Road off House of Assembly Avenue, Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. For reservations, call 070-650-41139. Roseville Hotel, hospitality at its best.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying tuned. Many who reside in the nation's capital are desirous to have a land. Sometimes this anxiety had caused many regrets as they fall into the hands of land agents or even cut corners to acquire land rather than follow the process. In this special report, Tessie Omeri reports on land racketeering victims and the status of demolished buildings in the FCT.
This is where it all begins and ends for many prospective land buyers who don't necessarily become landowners because the process of acquisition involves intrigues, speculations, verifications, and the ultimate allocation, all in a bid to get authentic title. These are some of the unfortunate ones who claim they have genuine land documents, and yet the even eye of the law caught up with them. Where did they get it wrong?
The local land is approved by Gomo. Gomo signed the paper, the agreement. And he didn't tell you that this place is a railway line.
I did here since 2015. Okay. We tell them, say, no be genuine lands in a government land. Okay. In a railway party, they say they don't divert them. They come, they buy, they build.
Grace Gapson, a private developer in Abuja, says due diligence and due process is not an option.
Some titles are still area council lands, and then some will have FCDA covered by C of O. So you go to the area council, you carry out your searches. If it's covered by C of O, you go to Aegis. The law says that ignorance of the law is not an excuse. So if you are investing even as low as 100,000 or 500,000 to buy a land, you should have the time to either get a lawyer or go yourself to carry out due diligence and investigations.
But what is the role and how involved is the traditional institution in land acquisition in the FCT?
Anybody who is interested to get a genuine land must make sure he buys the form of the ages, fills the form, pays some amount of money, and then from there it's being processed, and then the minister, when the place is approved, the minister then give allocation letter to either an individual or corporate organization. Anything outside that is termed as an illegal land.
With so many buildings demolished already for contravening the Abuja master plan, more will still be affected, according to the authorities.
There are proliferations of land grabbers and scammers around, so people should beware that whatever you want to do as regards to land transaction in the FCT, you must consult relevant authorities.
Even big estate developers are guilty of such. However, research shows that the demolition exercise has helped to curb flooding in some affected areas.
When we carried out the survey and the assessment, we discovered that most people built on the waterways. So we had to ask for political will, and the minister graciously granted that political will for us to remove any illegal structure that is blocking the waterways.
The demolition, according to authorities, is not to enchant anyone, but rather to give the FCT its pride of place, as there is no compensation except for those with genuine papers.
With controversies surrounding issues of acquiring land in the FCT, stakeholders say it behoves on people to follow due process in order not to fall victim of land racketeering in the territory. In Abuja, Tessie Omeri, NTA News.
Uyo residents are lamenting non-availability of clean potable water in the state capital and appeal to governments to revive some water kiosks located in some strategic areas to make clean water available for the people. John Paul Alumona, who visited some places in the state capital, reports that some privately owned borehole experts say they are not clean for drinking. The report.
Water is life, and the availability of pipe-borne water that is clean, safe and portable helps the people to overcome some health challenges, especially waterborne diseases. In Akwa Ibom State, for instance, there has been limited water supply, which forced some residents to dig in private boreholes that are not confirmed by the authorities to be safe for drinking. In its effort to provide pipe-borne water to the residents, the Akwa Ibom State government a few years ago constructed water kiosks at various locations in Uyo metropolis, but unfortunately, the kiosks are no longer functional. These residents say need to be revived to address the scarcity of water situation in Uyo.
The water kiosks here have not been functioning for some time now, and I really want the government to see to putting the water in place.
Fencing point like this, you see, it will really help the populace, because not everybody can afford a borehole. As we speak right now, it's an expensive venture. So if government has gone this extent to make this available, I think the arm that is in charge of this should wake up.
If such water is being provided, then there will be no need for all this borehole that is being dug everywhere. And we know the effect of the borehole. If every compound digs the borehole, then with time there will be a very serious geological effect.
The managing director, Akwa Ibom State Water Company, Mr. Edoetuk, says they are revamping the company to address the water needs of the populace. He regretted that most of the private boreholes are not safe for drinking, hence the need to access potable water from the water board.
The issue of water kiosks, by the time I came in, I've looked into it, and the basic idea is in the development of getting water to homes. It was a phase that gave proximity to certain environments to address and who can come in and access water. At the time it was done, we are taking it further by engaging our parent ministry. So we are moving now to the place where we are now connecting waters to private homes.
The water company says It is working hard to ensure availability of potable water in the state and appealed for patience from the citizens. In Uyo, John Paul Alumon, NTA News.
And to end the news, a recap of the major highlights. More farmers have received inputs courtesy of Akwa Ibom State government. Stakeholders make moves to address issues of Almajiri and out-of-school children. You also heard in the news that Uyo residents have appealed for clean and portable water. And that's the news. For a reminder, to be a star, join NTA's campaign to stand against rape and rapists. Many thanks for sharing your time with us. Uteba Ajibon will bring to you the news translation shortly. For me, it's good night. Wang e boy mbungo mingwang eto kara mimpono wo edwa gedi kesi ongo mbone kuto Almajiri yendito imirika yake ngwe kuson mbono wo ke Uyo eseme dangamong esang kwa imiri ba uka imi ko mo milika wan tambo min kere utbe achibonge ko mimbo mi yo Membono woke ekadi kore kpene edia ofon eto karasi amo ebo mention mbungwam ingwang a commissioner segem kpo bangote ngwang kesiri mi doctor fiong ofo ida anye ke skode mi mimpo ingwang ami ama dot meto ingwang utongo bo ya mo ekrebo ke kama mimbungu ingwang ami eto ingwang mo ye kumbo mi yo
Ufonsendiria nam kidem bono wo irogo setatange worogo Itagami nam mbono we ne kebe ni de mesanke utengwang bangidia arikani ba simbono wo edia mane soge no mbonfen se adogo ininanga adomi mbonu tengwang kenkange ketye ikore bene e my boy mensionsio mbongwam ingwang eto ukara ke stedemi ma ofyon ofo ado commissioner segem kpo banga utengwang nko asunu yo akod miwad nkorombon fin abo yang mo ewana ke utengwang kidogi ni uda de medomi mbone ke boyo unwa mami eto ukara e my word in emisle taititi e manebo ke mimo mi bengi de mediko no mpo ingwang ami nsan ke ingwang ammo ba toro mimo ni atayo idokini makim miku yo utbe achibon Kombok NTA. Nko ebo kute ngwang ke siremi anye ki swami ake tongo ke tini mito ngwang ebo ke ake ne dangedam ake bak adip ami me ngwang mi mo taititi ado kombong ngine bo ke mito ngwang ami esinu wiebe ngukare bo mbok ya ke sinu ngwam enom mi mo ke mention sio usong bang mi mo di kane ni eti dok ye ko bo yo mo ida me kombok ege wata ese itie utengwang emakrebo ke mbono wo etongo edito mention sombo ngwang si ananga mo etangebo ke dangedem abaga de mi afon yemetengwa sayana mgami mo kani bak bokom mpo se mo mane tangebo ke akine dangam pori sare dagami akugiba nko udwam ko we can need anam mimo ibagi tengwang ko kedo se afan mbono wo ikpanda me fomina mutumo concept se ekene Ediano bok enamutumi ngamba torundidia aba momo mogozo ando boke ubari bonomi edongum biodogo utengwangami etono ufomo bot ado ammo sogesinu yo ekoru karabo mbok yageno memko ngwang te fertilizer ba toro ari ngwam yak mimo ikani ni eti edido ido mbokoba nte mensonsio nyano bok asam memboni dan akene nangado akogibaga amienam afrewo eda keda eda no bok ebukedo se edong ngwang ba toro ndidia ariba se akogimibaga
bo songo bo akogiba se diamko idinyong ijireki ngwang am so dara di wo sidia nyanam no kan na nyong iram iki ka tongo 5 o'clock iki tong isang tiki wo mi 6 so ngbo so ngo bo nya nam no nyini ro ngwa mi bu ya ina
yo ni ute ngwa rum ro nta ga mer me kinyo la rai be ya ma de ro ko so ra iso ngo mem ti kan ito mbo me yo ngo me be ngwa mo be ko si am tian to mi ni gi bo ko kan ko yemi box ngbesan ya I wa me wo ra so ra ta wo mang bo yo bu song de ya ra ga me no song mi wo mang kre yen yo ba te wo ka na mo utum I wa ro ya wo ra fon
miku yo Lusong bono wo miku yo esoke kaise se me danga mong sang pare mi di bara amon dine sene bengi no kare bombo yare se danga ekbe nam yang mong esang para mi adiba ke miti se adanga mbotang e bo kendu ngana medio ngo kendu song mong esang kwak abanga ki adom bono wo eni enko ineke ki fon se ngom e ko yo ngom mi
Mbona mnori yonge bo ke mongo du wem amesege no mbono won song idem mko eti monge sango kwa kado ta kwan bo ngwa mambono wo ko bio yen kan ko ke ri kamanye nampo nyong wongo nye ka kwai bum state me monge sango kwa inege ki wa amena mambono wo etape monge sango kwa ke mu fero mo ki me ro ko kunen ukara enoro amero go na ukare ri yonge bo ke ya fon sengwong ke mensani fakeri nam no monge sango kwa aba ke nkan ko ukara kwa ibum state ke mu wagi swabo yokeko e ma ita pemmo ngesango kwa ke mention sitie manari ngwam mbonogo ado ki daga me mo ngesango kwa kado ifon no ba sembonogo e kanebo uton taga miero mbona manno mbonogo ke nkan ko yo eseme e banga ada iworu fakuti musempo mbanga mo ngesango kwa ibum state edo eto ama abo ku fakuti modo eso enam me ubiang utimo mo ke riken bo ke nam no mong esang kwa aba ke fat nkan ko uyo anyongodo sembonogo enwongonye enyonga kama enam bo kemi bono webo kemi mo emini edronyen nte ku kara yu fo kutum usembo mbanga mong esang kwa eya enam no mong aba ke fat nkan ko uyo me ku uyo uwe medi mo Samson okombok NTA
ukane zo songa taiti tike mpangutong tembongnya atrelu kono yomi ya asere